It was very difficult because nobody had any money in those days.
War is not nice. When you're killing people, it's not nice. But on the other hand, it was necessary. And at that particular time in history, there was not many jobs available for young people. And by joining the service, you had a means of living, at least. You had a few dollars spending money and the food you could eat and all the clothing you needed and a place to sleep. And I think that enticed a lot of people.
We were going down all right. There was flame coming out of the engine, and the skipper told us all to get in our crash positions. And as we came back and turned away from the target and approached the French coast on the way back, we were down to 5,000–6,000 feet. And the flak from the French coastal batteries was fierce, and so were the searchlights. And how we got through them, I don't know, but we rocketed through them and got back out to sea. And the skipper said, well, get ready, we're going to ditch. And we went down and down and down, and I kept looking until I could see the sea getting very close. And I got in my crash position against the bulkhead, and then there was one horrible crash as we hit, and the skipper said, hang on chaps, trusting God. And we hit the water, and a wall of water washed me back and forth, and I got my feet jammed in the geodetics, and I couldn't get out. And then all of a sudden it was quiet. All I could hear was the lapping of the water. Everybody had gone but me, and I struggled and struggled and struggled to get out.
In Holland we did have to, in occasion where we didn't have any infantry, we'd go through an area and then we would have to get out of our tanks and become the infantry and go through the houses, house to house type of thing to see if there was any enemy there. And I got wounded in one of those cases when we got out of the tank. Not a serious wound, I just took a bullet in one of my hands. But that was the most dangerous, I guess, experiences we had, because once you're out of the tank, you have to remember, once you're a tank person, you had protection around you. And we used to look out and see the infantry and say, boy, I sure wouldn't want to be one of those fellas out there, because it doesn't take much of a bullet to hit them out there in the tank. It took a pretty good sized weapon to put us out of action.
Our job was to jam the German radar. We flew off the coast of France, a few miles off the coast of France, up and down, jamming the German radar. We were successful in that. We drove their radar back about 30 miles, so that they really didn't have too much of a clue until they could actually see the enemy shipping arriving and the aircraft overhead. So that was thrilling and interesting. It was an 8.5-hour flight for us that night. But we didn't see very much. Fortunately, we were in a better position than the poor guys on the ground. But it was nevertheless thrilling to be part of it.
Hopefully there won't be any more wars. I'm sure there will be, but hopefully not. And hopefully nations of the world will be clever enough to avoid fighting and killing one another. If governments want to start more wars, I think the government are the ones that should do the fighting and not the general public. However, I think that if they are forced to do some fighting, that they should do it very willingly, because they're defending their own country. And to me, Canada is worth defending.
I stand and remember my friends, and I look around at the older fellas, and it's sad to remember them young and healthy and vigorous, and to see them now old and feeble. But they're still here, some of them. But I feel very sad. War isn't a pretty thing. There's nothing glamorous in war. It might sound so in some of the stories, but there's nothing glamorous. Many people die unnecessarily because someone wanted to be a power in the world and rule the world. Why we can't live in peace, I don't know, but we never can, apparently. I hope this lasts a bit longer than it usually does, although I'm doubtful. Man being what he is, a warring animal. It's not a good thing. None of the men that survived it enjoyed it, really. It's horrible.
At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.